My name is Tony Gapisone, pronouns he, him, his. I'm the founder and executive director. And this is day 3 of the 5th annual BraveMaker Film Festival. Thank you so much for everybody who's been here. How many, this is your first BraveMaker Film Festival? Raise your hand. Woo, awesome. How many, it's your first film festival ever? Raise your hand. All right, cool. I love seeing that. Your first experience at a film festival. That makes me very, very happy. So glad that you're here. How many of you, this was your first screening at the BraveMaker Film Festival? So one person raising, 2 people coming. Oh, no, a bunch, actually. Your first screening.
Oh, no.
I mean, like, you were here before, Keena, right? Yeah. Got you. Yeah, you were screening for the first time here. Yeah, but like this block was your first time. Okay, cool. How many of you drove an hour from Vallejo to get here? Raise it up. You hear some whoop whoop. Yeah, way to support your friends who are filmmakers. All right, so I'm going to invite all the filmmakers. There's going to be a lot of people up here. So come on up. If you were in any film, you made it, you produced it, you did craft services for it. Seriously, half the theater. Come on down. All right, so if this is your first experience at a film festival, one of the cool things that you get to do is talk to the makers and ask them questions, ask them the whys, the hows, how much did it cost, did you have to fire anybody from your set, what would you never do again? That's one of my favorite questions. What would you never do again making your film? So we only have 4 directors, 5? How many? I can't count. Just we'll share them. So come on up. I'm going to pass the microphone in a second as it starts to sink into the building, prepping you to share your name, what your film was, and there we are. Hi. Cool. There is one more. Here, come on down. Yeah. Nobody else from the films?
Emily, come down here. Yes,
Yeah, come on. Okay, cool. Introduce yourself. Tell us your name, what film you were a part of, what you did, and if you want to say pronouns, anything like that, that'd be great. Go for it.
Cool. You guys can hear me? Cool.
Yeah.
My name is Jamal Page, and I was the producer on the short film Head, which was, I think, like the 3rd film that played.
Right.
And my pronouns are he, him.
Cool. Thanks, Jamal.
Hi, guys. I'm Ben Hess. I was the writer and director.
You gotta talk a little louder.
Sorry about that. Ben Hess. I was the writer-director of Head, the film that Jamal was the producer on, and he, him.
And they came out from
Colorado.
Yeah.
Hey, my name is Raimundo Archila. I'm the director, writer, pretty much everything on the short film Manhunt. I live in Los Angeles, but I'm originally from the Bay Area, and I came out here to play the film. It's awesome. Like, I grew up in San Mateo, and I remember watching a bunch of movies in the Redwood City Theater across the freeway. If anybody remembers that.
Century 12 it was.
Yeah. So it's crazy to screen a movie here for me, which is just super dope.
Yeah, right on, Raymond. Right on. Woo!
Hello, everyone. I am Priscilla Lamb. I'm executive producer for the short film The Reckoning, and I'm grateful to be here. She, her.
Does this one work?
Sorry.
Yeah, both of them should be good.
Sorry.
Great. I'm Faye Brenner. I'm the co-writer and director of Promises, and up from Los Angeles.
I'm Emily Arts. I was production design on The Reckoning with Priscilla. So if you were grossed out by the heart, that's my fault.
Right on. Let's get right to your questions, okay? Our last screening, I was doing QR where there was somebody in the second row sleeping. So I want you to stay awake, all right? Here we go. Toss them out. What questions do you have for our filmmakers? Yeah, right up there.
Me?
Yeah.
So a lot of these seem very personal, right? What was your inspiration?
Cool. Let's go right down the row. Inspirations. Want to start, Faye?
Okay. Well, this is a true story. Promises is a true story, and it's one moment in this woman's life. I met her about 35 years ago, and I've been trying to tell her story this whole time, and her whole life story. This is just one piece of it. And I kept getting roadblocks, and my career in general, I worked in film as a script supervisor for 45 years, and kept getting stalled every time I tried to move up. And finally, I had the opportunity to present something to the showrunner on the show that I do, which is The Rookie, which is why Nathan's name is up there. And the producer said, show us something recent that you've done, and because he knew I wanted to direct, and the network said the same thing. So I pulled this out of my back pocket and did it, and showed it to them. They loved it, and I got an episode to direct last fall from The Rookie.
Yes!
Woo-hoo! You can catch it on Hulu. It's episode 514 if you feel like watching it. I'm sorry, what?
My son is streaming it right now.
Oh, is he?
We love seeing the industry, the professionals that come through film festivals here. And if you are new to the film festival circuit, and some of you raised your hand, many people on these panels have said they meet people at film festivals, they connect and start relationships, and you will watch the careers grow. And it's really cool to be able to say, hey, I remember when they were doing this short film, and now they show run a show. Like, that's a beautiful thing. So kudos.
The other thing is, this is my first film.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I'm really, really happy with it. You asked about it being personal. I have very strong feelings about homelessness and addiction, and this woman turned her life around in an amazing way and gave back to society. It's really, her full story is inspirational, and I'm looking to do it. This is sort of a proof of concept to do her whole story.
As a feature?
As a feature or a series, yeah.
Cool.
Either one. Yeah, she was really something.
Thanks, Faye.
So there you go.
Well, I executive produced The Reckoning, but Chris K, who has left, it was personal to her, but it's really in our community, whoopings are normal. And so...
You said whoopings are normal?
Whoopings are normal. Discipline is normal. And I have a collective named 11th Hour Creatives, and our challenge is to give our screenwriters room a film genre every month, new, that they are supposed to write a 5-page script, 2 locations or less. And so that was the story that Chris chose to write on with the thriller horror film genre. And when the producers in our collective read the script, we all were like, dang. We all had that feeling, like being scared to go home when we know the teacher called mom and dad because we was gonna get towed up. So it's just a cool piece, one that, like, when people come across it who come from my community, watch it, be like, dang, yeah, I remember that. I remember being scared to go home. So yeah.
So Manhunt is based on an urban legend from Central America, but my parents are actually from El Salvador. They immigrated from there. Yeah. And it's a very, very famous urban legend called La Siwanawa. And pretty much your uncle, your dad, everybody has a story with her. It's like very much part of the culture. When I was a kid, when my parents used to take me, you could see a statue of her in like the restaurants or in a hotel, and she had her son, which is called El Cipitillo. Which I guess you kind of related to La Llorona. It's a different aspect of the story with the weeping woman in English. But I intertwined some stories that I had heard from my parents, people that I'd met in El Salvador, and obviously some stories from my own personal dating life are intertwined in there somehow. I won't tell you what parts, but yeah. And and so, being Salvadoran, I think we're only known for like 3 things, which is pupusas, gangs, and the Civil War. And I think we're much more than that. And I think our urban legends and just like our culture is very rich. And, my parents have taken me to the country, and I've learned a lot. And I actually went back a week ago. I was there for the first time in over 15 years. And it was just amazing to see. And I think to me it's personal because it's a way to showcase my culture, and also I just love horror films, so I thought it was a good combination of the two.
Done. How many of you like horror films? Raise your hands. Let me see. Yeah, that's awesome.
The story of Head, also a true story. In real life, it happened about 20 years ago, and this was the film with the Jeremy and Caden in the relationship, and the sexual assault happens at the beginning of the film. In real life, I was the detective who interviewed the folks involved in the case. It was a real incident. That was in another life. I'm doing this now full time. But in a lot of the stories that I try to tell, in a lot of the experiences that I've come across interacting in people's lives in that job, there's not a lot of happy endings, and there's not a lot of redemption or anything in those instances. And I experienced that over 20 years. And I retold this story in a way that left the door open for just a little bit of hope at the end. In real life, the story didn't end that way. So in a way, it was almost cathartic for me to tell the story in a way that the characters who were real people had a little bit of hope at the end, and some redemption and some introspection. And that's why I told the story. So.
That's great. I always like to hear, does anyone have anything that kind of stuck with them that will haunt them in a good way or bad way, or linger with them from the film that you'll take off or take away as you take off tonight? Anybody want to share anything? Yeah, say it.
I can't relate, but did you say you were law enforcement?
Yeah, I was a detective for 15 years. And in the film, I don't know if anybody is in here is a gamer, but I don't know if you guys recognized the actress who played the detective was Abena. She's the likeness for a character in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I love that you cast her. That's
Yeah.
something that lingers with me with your film, and it's not a part of the character, it's just that's who she is. So I love that, and I want more of that, just as a reminder. I'm seeing this in ads now. You go to Target and you see just different body shapes and different, everything is normal. That's how it should be. So that stays with me about your film, yeah.
Yeah, she was awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful inside and out.
That's cool. Anybody else? Anything? Yeah, go ahead.
With Magical Bridge, and so when Danielle was at the playground, it really moved me. Just, you knew that she had a loss. You didn't know exactly what that was happening. Where are her kids there? And we try to think of the playground as certainly the Magical Bridge are inclusive playgrounds, but you have to recognize that it'll be difficult for people who are there who don't have their kids.
Yeah.
And so that was the part that.
That's really cool. So if you don't know what Magical Bridge is, how many of you have been to a Magical Bridge playground in here? A few people. Redwood City has one. Palo Alto has one. They're popping up all over the world, which is cool. But look it up. It is an all-inclusive playground, and it's from the beautiful mind of Alenka Villarreal, who is a friend and one of the sponsors of the film festival. But if you have a wheelchair, you should be able to swing. If you are autistic, you should be able to go into a space and have sensory sensitivity to you. It's a beautiful concept, and I think that the fact that lingered with you is really cool. The visuals that really stand out with us, and representation. So yeah, thank you. Fantastic. Anybody else? Questions or things that lingered with you? Visual images or dialogue? Go ahead, shout it out.
For Ray, are we thinking of a more anthology with these kind of cultural kind of horror stories? Are we thinking probably more down the road?
For the YouTube audience, the question is about anthologies down the road with these urban legends.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's a great question. So originally, I think one of my inspirations was I saw an anthology film called Barbarous Mexico. I mean, Junior's one of my friends, but shout out to all the friends and family that came out. But yeah, it was. Is this still on?
Go keep going.
So that was one of my inspirations because it's a film that showcases different urban legends or myths from Mexico, and I thought that was so cool that I thought it'd be really cool to do it for Central America. So I did log lines for maybe 6, 7 different ones for Central American stories that I heard growing up as a kid, and I did some more research, and I just decided to do La Cihuahua first because it's just it's one of those classic ones that anybody from any country south of Mexico up to Panama, they know who La Cihuahua is, and I thought that was really cool. And for making a short film, a lot of people said that maybe I should make a feature-length version of it. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I have a draft of a full-length script and trying to raise funds.
Cool. If you are a producer or a fundraiser or an executive producer, this is where you go up to Raymond at the red carpet and say, hey, I'm interested in that, if you are. All right, we have time for maybe one or two more. Pop it out. Anybody? The special effects in The Reckoning. Which ones? The heart. Okay. Practical.
Oh, that was.
Special effects in The Reckoning, the heart.
So for The Reckoning, it was practical effects. I mean, our photographers and camera workers and editors are incredible and made it look even spookier. But I went to a local butcher shop and got a wonderful selection of pig's heart, pig's foot, and livers, and some, I think it was like chuck roast, and then just mixed up some fake blood. We had it was a good time. It smelled interesting. Horrible. In the kitchen. A nice mix of metallic, meaty, and sweet, if you can imagine. But it was a lot of fun to kind of get to play around and be a little bit gross.
As we end, would you go down the line and just share where people can follow you? I think it's so cool when at film festivals you grow an audience for your art. And would you please, if this is something that would be fun for you to do, follow them, because you'll see their careers grow, but you also see these cool behind the scenes. Like I remember you all posting the nail salon, the nail lady making those nails for The Reckoning. And it's just really cool. You were really good about incorporating everybody in the crew in that thing. So tell people where they can follow you.
I don't post very often, but you could follow me on Instagram at martsandcrafts. Arts is with a Z.
Are you looking to do more production design, Emily?
Always.
There we go.
My father was a production designer, so I totally relate. Yeah, I don't do a lot of social stuff either, but you can follow me on Facebook at Faye Brenner, or Instagram, Opera to Go, or also at Instagram, Promises Movie.
Faye, I love it. Like, I don't do much Instagram, but much social, but here's 3 different platforms. Yes.
Before I give mine, I just want to give a special thanks to Tony.
Thank you.
I met Emily through Tony's feature film.
She was my production designer for my feature film.
Yes, I just want to say thank you.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for bringing us all together at all times.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love it.
You can find me on social media on Instagram at Miss MS Priscilla Lamb, or follow 11th Hour Creatives on Instagram.
So I'm on Instagram mainly, but you can find me under my full name, Raimundo Archila. Archila is Archila. Yeah, check it out.
So I have, I'm not very good at posting either, but Sly Fox Cinematic on Instagram for some cool music videos, other stuff that we do with some nonprofits and lots of other commercial stuff. And then Jamal's got his own.
I've been seeing a lot on Sly Fox Cinematic, so I see a lot from you.
There's been a lot of posting actually for Sly Fox.
He's like, maybe it's been like 3 a day, 4, I don't know, not very many.
And then you guys can also follow me at Black Sparrow Media on Instagram and all the other socials. You'll probably see our stuff tagged together, so that'll be a good indicator of who's who.
Collaborating.
Yeah.
Awesome. You can follow us at BraveMaker Film Fest. Our team has been going nuts all week long, all month long, but it's been just 3 days, 72 hours. If you want to come back tomorrow for BraveMaker Film Fest, we have Film Church here in the morning. It's been a tradition on Sunday morning to do a film that feels like a church experience, and that is going to be called 1946, The Mistranslation That Shifted a Culture. It's all about the LGBTQ community and the word homosexual in the Bible. If that is not your thing, you can come for the donuts and coffee, and then go at 10:15. We have a workshop called What I Learned While Filmmaking, and I'll be hanging out for a discussion with anybody who shows up to learn about what have you learned on set, what has worked and what has not, what are best practices you would do for pre and production and post. If that's interesting to you, it's 10:15 in our hub. And then we have a Brave sci-fi section here. Keena Ferguson has a short film called Backlogged, and then another one called In Electric Sleep. And then we are doing a whole another, slew of workshops at the library that are free for students. So check it out. It's all on our website, BraveMaker.com, or if you have a badge, just scan the stuff and you'll find it. And I have to say thank you for buying tickets. Those of you who are donors, please consider donating to BraveMaker so we can continue to do this work. But I have to brag, on our last session, I always do a pitch. Can we get more donors? We have 31 donors. One of them is my mom. Can we get more people to donate on a monthly basis? $5, $20, $100, whatever, because it helps us rent stuff and do stuff. But last session, how many of you saw bad things happen in Philadelphia? I just said, I'm not going to pitch BraveMaker. Give to Coach Gary, give to Mothers in Charge. And I just heard about 20 minutes ago from Kyra. She said, Gary FaceTimed me and said someone donated $10,000. Wow. From here. So thank you. Give it up. The generosity is there. Keep doing it. Thank you for being here. Good night and farewell. See you tomorrow if you'll be around. Thank you.